Yo, welcome to Inside the Gates, the podcast. Today, I get to bring on a guy I met at Jeffrey Hills, man. And they tell you, when you come into the field, you don't supposed to be friends with the inmates. But this is different. You work there long enough, they become your friends. And real COs know that. You're a part of their life. You doing time with them. So today, I get to bring on my good friend, my Delta dorm guy, JD. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, man. How y'all doing, man? Well, it's a blessing to be here, man. It's a blessing to be here, man.
Finally
free.
Finally free.
26 years, man.
26 years, man. We're going to jump right into it, man. So, 26 years. What was your charge that sent you away for 26 years?
I was charged, man, with 2 counts of robbery, man, and just out there in the streets wilding, man. The usual, drugs, alcohol, women, fast life. So that's what got me in a lot of trouble. So, man.
That's the recipe for destruction, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is.
So what age were you when you caught this charge?
I was 28.
28.
28 when I caught this charge.
So you weren't so much of a jit, but
No.
you was a grown man at 28.
I was a grown man, but I still had childish motives, man. Childish ideals, man.
Yeah.
Childish ways.
Okay.
So, man, it wasn't no maturity in there, no direction.
You was 28, but you still was a jit mentally.
Yes, I was. I was.
That's normally how it goes, especially for men. We kind of mature at a later time, and it'll take something to shake you up to make you mature most of the time.
Right.
It shouldn't be that way, but I mean, sometimes that's how the dice roll.
Well, it takes certain stuff. For me, it took prison. Some things it might not take prison for somebody else, man. Right. It might take something else, But I don't regret going to prison. I regret going to prison, but at the same time, it did me some good.
Right.
Because I might have not have made it out there in the streets.
Right. Yeah. That's the alternative.
Yeah.
Prison of the grave.
Yes. So. Yeah. And that's real life stuff. That's grown man stuff, man. If you really look at it, out there running the streets, it is prison of the grave, man. Yeah. And you bring so much destruction to your household when you're out there in the streets.
Right.
So
okay, you 28 years old. You get sentenced to 26 years. What are you feeling at that moment when the judge said you got 26 years?
No, it wasn't 26 years. He sentenced me to 30, but I was facing a life sentence. A mandatory life sentence because of my history. My history is a lot of felonies and robberies and stuff. So I was actually looking at a life sentence, a mandatory life sentence with no chance of parole. So my feeling was, man, I said, man, this ain't life for me, man. I was broken. I was like, man, I'm sitting in the cell. I really didn't even go out my cell for, like 6 months. Man, and I was over there on Falkenberg as well. So really, your life flashes before you, man.
Yeah.
And everything you did and everything you wish you could have changed, man. And now you want to change since you're in this spot, man. And that's all I could think about, man. Is, man, I'm really finna do a life sentence, but God's merciful, man. You know God is merciful. So I didn't get a life sentence. I got 30 years. So, but out of them 30 years, I did 26 years.
Right.
So, man, and during that time, man, only thing I wanted to do was change.
Yeah.
I didn't want that life, man, that I lived out there on the streets, man. So
okay, you get sentenced. Was this your first time going away to go do time?
No.
Or was your first bid?
Yeah.
Just was your longest bid?
Yeah, it's my longest bid. You got to look at it, man. When back in those days, during time, you had CRD. You had a lot of stuff that was kicking you out. So you was really like going to a place like Disneyland. Yeah. So you really wasn't doing no time. You really wasn't there. So you got to admit, when you got that kind of through 3 years and you only doing 6 months, so it's like, man, that ain't nothing. Right. That's the attitude that I had, and that's the attitude most people had back in those days when you getting all this game time. So prison wasn't really like prison to us. That was just like a little getaway.
Vacation.
Yeah, like a little vacation for the street. Yeah, it wasn't nothing. But it could be beneficial, for you if that's something you want to do. You want to get your mind right. But a lot of people, man, ain't doing that.
So you went in at 28, got a 30-year bid. What was the first institution you went to?
Man, you got to go to the reception center, so that's the scare tactic thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
like
you
boot
go
camp.
you go through there, they scare you half to death. But when you get to your first camp, my first camp was Mayo. So when I got to Mayo, I went to got in an altercation. You know, I went in an altercation, man. I got lied on.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. I went to the box and stuff like that. But when I got to Mayo, man, my intention, man, I said, man, God put a fire in my heart. I started going to church and everything. But I started reading the Bible at the county and stuff. So I started beginning my road to change. Yeah. So I went in, man, going down this road to change, you know. So you can call it chain gang religion, man, but some men really, really cling on to that.
Right.
So, but I went to Mayo, man. I started going to church, and I started going to the law library and stuff like that. I started doing positive stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it don't matter how much time you got, it's what you put into it. Yeah. If you really want to change, you know, it's partner correction. They there to help you, but they're not going to just put it all on a plate for you and say, eat it.
Yeah,
you know, so you got to eat on your own.
On the flip side, a lot of officers coming to do their time and go home.
Right.
They ain't trying to pour into you, so it's just like, look, I got my own stuff going on outside the gates, and I think, you know, a lot of inmates don't know that. Like, officers be coming in with they world crashing.
Right,
and believe it or not, that's why a lot of officers cling to the inmates.
Right.
Because some officers don't got friends in the streets.
Yeah.
They ain't got no friends in the streets. So they come here and they ain't got no family out there. I done seen the officer sleeping in his car. Got a full-time job, coming to work and sleep in his car. So we was all his friends. We was his family. And it took for us to discover that and say, hey, man, okay, we'll help you. What you need. You know, and then people end up helping them get an apartment and all that type stuff. But I definitely get it. So you at Mayo, you said you got into an altercation.
Yeah.
You won?
No, I mean, you ain't gonna win. You can't win. Ain't gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I got lied on. So
yeah.
But I took it in stride. I didn't let it, you know, make me bitter or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I continued on the road that God had blessed me to be on, man. You know, you're gonna have bumps and bruises along the way. You're gonna, you know, so but it's how bad you want it. How bad do you want to change? How bad do you want to do better? You know, so I surrounded myself around positive things, man.
And I did notice that about you, you know, when I got there, and I caught you on the back end of your time, you didn't surround yourself with foolishness. And you ain't talk foolish. That's the thing. Like, you know, I'm kind of like zero tolerance for foolishness. I don't want to be with that. Don't come around me talking crazy. I don't want to hear none of that. And you know how I ran the dorm, man. It could be sweet. Or I could come on this floor and be foolish. Which one you want?
Right.
So, you know, I did notice that about you real fast. And that's probably why our relationship was real good, because you wasn't no dude that was. I couldn't stand to see dudes that you already doing time. Why you making it hard?
Right.
Why you making it hard?
Right.
Because, again, a lot of them don't even understand, man, we ain't even here to make your time hard. I mean, you do got some COs that's just, you know, some of y'all couldn't step out that yellow line without them when you going to the box.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, you was a very mature dude, man, and that's kind of why I was all right with you, man, because I knew you was a grown man and you wasn't no little boy. And there's just a lot of grown men that's still little boys in there.
Of course.
That's a big thing in there. So you doing your time. You know, who was the first person to come visit you?
First person to come visit me, man, was my sister and my brother, man, OC and Jim, man. They been my man. God bless them to be my little backbone, man. Those little 26 years, man. They was my ride or die.
Yeah.
You know, and they stayed there with me, you know, through thick and thin. They wouldn't visit me all the time, man. I wouldn't expect that, 'cause I wouldn't want them to take out of their life for something I did. You know, so I really didn't put no pressure on them to come see me and stuff like that. But they did when the opportunity presented itself. They came and saw me. So it was all good, man.
And I think that's key to doing time. Like having somebody just to come there and be an outlet for them 3-4 hours you at visitation.
Right.
Like that mean a lot to people. And I used to always be like, why y'all gonna mess up visitation for yourself?
Right.
I mean, some of this all y'all got. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of it. It's so many things that I had to say about working in them gates, and I couldn't stand to see inmates sleeping in when they got programs to help them. Like, you ain't taking advantage of it, and then the first thing you're gonna do is come home and say, oh, they ain't helping me, I'm a felon. And I think that the world is felon friendly now.
Right.
They got plenty of opportunities for felons.
Right.
They almost feel bad that you done been free and you ain't doing them with yourself.
Right.
Versus
right.
a man that had to go do time. He coming out, he trying to help himself, he trying to get on his feet. They'll help that man.
Yeah.
But you done been free your whole life and you just been a bum, they ain't feeling sorry for you.
Right.
They almost looking like, well, they should have swapped out and sent you to prison then.
Well, that's true. All that what you're saying is true. Because if we don't try to help ourselves, nobody else going to try to help
Right.
you. So there's opportunities behind the gates, man. There's opportunity that present itself, and there are people that's behind the gates like you, sergeants, and even lieutenants, captains, classifications, the chaplain. You know, when they see you really trying to help yourself, man, these are the people, man, that'll jump out on full force and help you.
Yeah.
You
and I
know,
always
so
tell people,
yes.
you know, a lot of COs, I can't speak for everybody, but I can say for me, I came in and understood that I'm just a decision away from being in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no better than these people, man. And a lot of COs come in and they think that just because you free. And I'm like, bro, you ain't even understanding. You could leave here, go out that night, and y'all gonna have some drinks. And there's a physical altercation amongst you and somebody. You punch somebody and they die. That's just how easy it can happen to you.
Yeah,
you punch them with the intention of just punching them to defend yourself, but you punch them and you killed them.
Right.
And you ain't even no violent person. Ain't got nothing on your record or nothing. And here you go finna go do a life sentence behind that.
Right.
So I just realized then that, you know, life is all about choices. And I done made some decisions that really weren't good ones, but God had grace and mercy on me too.
Yes.
So I ain't foolish enough not to know who really was with me in my moments that I did stuff that if I got caught, I was going to jail. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I never came in and judge y'all, but man, you meet some characters inside the gates.
Of course,
and
both ways, both sides.
You meet a lot of characters, man.
Yeah.
You meet some characters, and I did 10 years, so it's a hell of an experience. You meet different kinds of people in prison, different type of characters, because that's what they are. Most of them is some characters, but so how did you stay away from the gangs?
Oh man,
because 26 years, 30 years, you know, most people, they get that kind of time, they finna fall to something. And you know what I'm saying, you kind of stay away from it.
Well, like I say, man, my role began, man, when I accepted Jesus Christ in my life. So, I didn't stay away from that. I've never been a gang member, but I always wanted to be a witness to them. So I didn't exile myself for a moment, so to speak. You know, I wanted to show them that there's a better way.
Right.
You know, a lot of people get in games because they lack relationship or love, or that they try to fill in stuff, you know, fill in the blank stuff, and they try to find it in that and stuff like that. But that's not the case with me. I wanted to show them that the love of Christ, man, is more filling than anything in the world. So to gangs, I try to show them the love of Christ. You know, I would never be a guy. I would never want to be a gang member because I seen what it did. I seen the outcome of that.
Right.
You know, I seen the initiations. I seen all that stuff, and I seen the lack of love and all that other stuff.
That's really what it is, man. I always said, you know, working in you realize just how many men lack genuine love.
Right.
And that's why, you know how I am. I could sit there, I could come in your cell and sit down on your bunk and politic with you.
Right.
I gave that kind of energy because I knew a lot of dudes, they cling to that. Like, prime example, I could be at work and I'm gone for a week and I ain't been to work in a week. It's gonna be some inmates, sorry, where you been at?
Yeah.
And low key, that's really a sign that, hey man, I miss you.
Yeah.
Like, where you been at, bro?
Yeah.
I ain't seen you in the week, man. You kind of make my time go. You know what I'm saying? That's why you, like I say, you ain't see me talking all foolish. You know what I'm gonna talk about.
Right.
We gonna talk sports.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about me some women.
Yeah.
And hey man, I'm just trying to stay out the way, trying to do my time and go. So we talking about, you know, relationships. How was your interactions with, you know, the officers? Because you know some people got bad interactions with them. So for the most part, you did 26 years. What was your interactions with officers?
My interaction with officers, man, I think it was fair. You know, it wasn't always great because you got butthole officers and you got butthole inmates. So the ones that I know that are donkeys and I hey and bye, yes sir, no ma'am, you know, and the ones that that can pour into my life like you and other sergeants and officers and stuff like that, you know, I really cling to them. I really talk to them, you know, and I advise and I encourage any inmate that will find a sergeant or SEAL that will pour some positive stuff in their life, man, I advise them, man, to sit down, man, and really talk to them people, man. Because they out there on the streets and they can really give you some good insight like you did on certain stuff. The relationship with other officers, man, my 26 years was, like I say, was fair, but I always dealt with the ones, mostly that really poured into my life and give me some positive feedback, man, on stuff.
So when I came and worked your dorm for the first time, did you try to feel me out? Because y'all always trying to feel out who in here.
Nah,
Because it was me, Rudolph, and Hart. And you gave us the nickname Sergeant his Charlie Angels.
Yeah.
And to this day, me and my girls, we still tight, man. We still talk to each other. Like I said, Hart always used to ask about you when she left. She was like, man, I got to check on JD.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? What was your thoughts? Because we ain't playing that dorm now. We ran our dorm.
It was a respect thing. When I came in, when y'all first started working in the dorm, and I immediately knew it was a vibe that was man, pop, man. Y'all never came in, coming in, tearing up Joker house, man. Room, none of that. You did your job.
Yeah.
Well, you did your job. Y'all did your job, but you kept it respectful.
Right.
You didn't come as judge and jury to us, man. And, I think a lot of us respected y'all for that because, man, y'all treated us like people. And not animals, man. You got some sergeants coming in that's treated like animals.
That's the biggest thing. And then I tell people it's built on respect.
Yeah.
It's built on respect. Man, you shouldn't come into the prison because you wearing a uniform and treat a man like he ain't worth nothing.
Right.
The society already judge you.
Yeah.
My job is custody, care, and control. I'm trying to help you get through this.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? I didn't believe in I got to come in here and be macho man to you.
Yeah.
I actually hated it when I had to get out of character.
Right.
Because I used to be like, bro, I make y'all time easy. I don't bother y'all for the most part. And y'all know my rule. If I got to come on that flow. If you making my time hard, I'm finna show you how I can be now.
Yeah.
I can tap the dorm. I can do all of that. I can roll the doors, lock you down.
Yeah.
You know I'm petty.
Yeah.
Count being clear. I had you behind your cell for an extra 45 minutes. Hey, man, this is my dorm. I can run it this way. But, I hated to have to be that type of person. But sometimes you got to pop out and show them that, hey, you ain't finna run my dorm. I'm going to run my dorm. And then most of the times when you running the dorm a certain way, and the inmates like y'all that's kind of like, hey, man, Sarge running a certain way. It's a respectable way. Y'all respect Sarge. The inmates going to correct the other inmates that come in there and that's what happened. So I used to always be like, okay, I ain't got to say that. And then in my earlier years, I worked at some tough camps.
Right.
So if I came in there and hit that TV switch, Sarge, why you hit the TV? I'm petty. Go ask Bunk 102. When Cap came around, he sitting on his bunk smoking. Ain't no TV no more today. Because I felt like this. You've been doing time long enough. You know the captain come around to make his goddamn security checks. That's a captain check. He come to do that every shift. Every captain that come to do that. And inmates know the captain routine better than us. So you mean to tell me you sat there and y'all got 50 lookout mans? You sat there and just kept smoking. So then Cap come down and holler at me, hey, Fitz, they up there burning in 102, you need to get that straight. And some captains, they come in and bark at you about it. Some of them they gonna come at, hey, Fitzpatrick, they up there smoking, you need to go do a security check, let them know they cut. But then you got some captains that they so macho, man, all the time. Hey, you need to get that straight, Sarge. Man, all right, so you got this man talking to me crazy. Bet, when I come on this floor, I promise you won't have nothing but drawers and a T-shirt left that the state gave you. When I'm done tearing up your
Yeah, that's true.
And if I send you to the box, you won't even have no toilet paper to come down there with you, buddy. But I hate to be that kind of officer to you. And a lot of times, you had to step out, especially with the younger inmates. So,
but it's needed, though. It was needed.
Because a lot of people lack guidance. So sometimes you got to step in and be that type of person to them when truly you ain't even trying to be that.
Right.
So, okay, you was a little older. How was it for you in the dorm when the young guys come in there? Because to me, those guys was the problems.
Well, you have to go with the good and the bad. So you have to roll with it. So during time, you always understand, man, when you get these young guys, young wild guys in there, man, that don't have no respect for what you trying to do, and don't have the respect to what's already laid down, you kind of pretty much, man, have to let it dip bite and enjoy the ride, man, because sooner or later, man, it's going to filter itself out.
Yeah.
When they don't want to abide under the rules, man, that's governing right now, and, man, listen, man, especially when you got old schools going to them, man, and telling them, man, listen, man, it's a laid-back dorm. It's a laid-back wing. don't come over here, man, wilding out doing this and that and this. I said, but you ain't gonna last long.
Right.
You know. So when you get a young man in there, some jitterbugs on one wing, you know they ain't gonna last long.
Right.
But at the same time, being you maybe laid back and stuff, it's gonna get rowdy. So they're gonna come in, they're gonna tear your stuff up. They're gonna tear the wing up. So you got to deal with it. But you only got to deal with it for what, a couple weeks, even if that.
Cause they gonna be gone.
Yeah, they gonna be
Either
gone.
They gonna ship them, or they finna spend the next couple weeks in the box.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, they gonna get weeded out of that. So you really pretty much you can try to talk to them, man. So whenever they do go to the box, or whenever they do get moved, they'll realize, man, oh man, that's what old school was telling me. You know what I'm saying? So or this what SARS was telling me, this, that, that. A lot of times, a lot of jitterbugs, they just don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When they got a sergeants and the officers coming in, man, it's laid back. They just want to do their time like we just want to do that time easy as possible. You know, then sometimes they just don't understand, man, they the police, man, them people don't care nothing about you. You ain't have that, like, you have that type of attitude, man.
And that used to bother me, man.
Yeah.
You know, as a black, especially as a black correctional officer, you got more pushback from the blacks.
Yeah.
Black inmates.
Yeah.
Prime example, you can be in there, a white officer come in, count time, gentlemen. Everybody quiet, they on the bunk, they sitting up.
Yeah.
And then I come in, and this was like early in my career. I come in, count, nobody ain't moved. Oh man, police ass shit.
Yeah.
So because my eyes ain't blue and my hair ain't blonde, you can't move?
Yeah.
I said, you know, that's crazy to me that you would disrespect me, but those other officers just came in here and said, count, and you got up and scattered like a roach.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, bro, why you give so much pushback to me?
Right.
And they never had a real answer for that. And then it used to be crazy to me. It used to be farther down the line when they come back and be like, hey, Sarge, man, you know what? You were right. You were right about that. You know, so can we talk about this? I'm like, that's all I was trying to get to you in the first place. But, you know what I'm saying? You want to disrespect me, now I got to show you that disrespect ain't going to be tolerated on my end. So I'm going to meet you where you meet me at. You meet me as a man with common sense, I'm going to meet you at. But if you going to come at me and police had we ain't going for that, buddy.
Right.
We ain't going for that at all, man. And I think, you know what I'm saying, I had a quick temper because I don't bother people. Like, y'all know I ain't disrespectful, so soon as you disrespect me, I'm going right there with you. And that was for staff and officers.
I agree with that. Yeah.
You don't see me with staff. I ain't with none of that.
Yeah.
So, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just didn't understand, man. Like, them young guys, as time go on, they start to grow up, and especially when they doing a lot of time. They come in, a lot of times they you know what I'm saying, they allegiance to gangs, got them acting crazy. Mm-hmm. And I used to always tell them, I seen so many things go bad with the gang life. Like, I seen so many dudes snake each other. I'm like, I thought, you know what I'm saying, this supposed to be loyalty and family. But boy, y'all doing some stuff to each other that, man.
Ramming.
Yeah, this man, this supposed to be your brother? No, you ain't my brother moving like this. Man. And I've seen people get killed in here, man. Like, it was crazy. So, you know, so we talking about what you seen. The first time you seen somebody get killed in there, what that did to you?
Oh, man. That kind of, man, it made me open my eyes to a lot of stuff, man. I mean, to reality, man, you can lose your life at any time.
Right.
Because people was getting killed, man, over nonsense, man.
Nothing.
You know, you might get in a room, man. That's just been a blessing to me, man. I thank God for keeping me, man. You might dude might move in your room, or you might move in a joker room, man. You don't know what kind of mindset this dude.
You don't know who this is,
man. You just don't know, man. And I don't see a couple times, man, when dudes just get killed on the house, man, because this dude had a sick mind and he thought this bunker was taken from any old stuff, man. I don't see people lose their life there, but man, when I seen the first body that I see, man, with an arm hanging out from under the seat, man, it just made me realize, man, I can lose my life at any time. So that really made me walk a tighter line.
Right.
You know, that just made me respect my surroundings more. You know, so and then for me to give respect, I want respect.
Right.
You know, for bike. So, and I didn't want to understand. I didn't want somebody to misunderstand me. It's just, man, that I'll kill you or anything. I just, man, I'm gonna let you know. You know, I'm gonna respect you, but respect me. And that's the attitude that when the first body I seen.
Yeah.
That, man, I want to give respect.
Yeah. You knew.
Yeah. because you can lose your life.
And I done been I started at Taylor CI.
Right.
That walk to that chow hall was dangerous.
Right.
That blind side of that chow hall, I seen a lot of dudes get stabbed over there. I seen a lot of dudes. I done seen a dude get killed right at Center Gate.
Right.
And I always tell that one story because to me that was like a wild moment. Like a man got killed, and it's the backstory is the year LeBron James won the championship down 3-1. He done bet at the whole compound when they was down 3-1 that the Cavaliers would come back and win. So you already know the whole compound jumped on that, and they was like, "Oh, but I'm gonna get this coffee," because the old man he had money. Locker always nice. You, as a staff member, you could go in there and be like, "Man, I want a sneaker today. I want a cup of coffee." He got everything. He was the stoke.
Right.
So, of course, he gambled everybody, and LeBron them came back and won that series. So I'm talking about. I ain't never seen nobody collect like him. That man, only thing he gambled was coffee. That man had so many packs of coffee. They sent dudes in there to try to extort him and take it. And he was an older guy. I called him old school. I can't even remember his name, but he was an older guy, big dude too. And they sent like 4 of them in there to try to take it. That man beat them jokers half to sleep in there. So I'm looking at the camera. You see him just falling out the cell. I said, "Oh, he ain't playing."
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, but nobody took him to jail. Nobody. And that's kind of like one of my drawbacks. I was like, dang, they probably should have took him to jail, bro. You probably would have saved his life.
Yep.
About 3 days later, he hit in the chow in the morning. Dude walk up behind him and stab him to death right there on the crosswalk. Young inmate. He finna go to he going home in about a month. Done caught a life sentence, doing it for the game.
Yep.
And I was like, that to me, I was just like, just that quick. He woke up heading the chow, not even thinking about this. I'm quite sure that wasn't on his mind.
No.
He headed the chow. It could have been on his mind if you just fought by 4 gang members.
Right.
So you probably thinking that they probably gonna come back again because I whooped them. But just, you know what I'm saying, you woke up and it's just that fast. We just rolled the door at 5 o'clock. You dead at 6:15.
Yeah.
So it's just that fast. And even in that sense, I took that from there, like even on the streets. You seen how that officer we had at Zephyr Hills, that girl had just got off of work.
Yeah.
She jumped right on 301 and died.
Yep.
Literally.
Yes, she did. Yep.
Literally.
Yep.
So it was just like, man, I always was like, I always prayed a lot. I still pray a lot to the day. I always ask God to shield and protect me. Because I know I live a lifestyle that wasn't conducive to what he want from me. So I'm like, God, please shield and protect me because in a minute, everything could change for you.
Right.
So we on, you seen somebody lose their life. Outside of that, what was the wildest thing you've seen in 26 years?
Oh, man. I think, definitely the wildest thing, but I think the wildest thing I seen, man, in my 26 years, man, how young dudes come in, get manipulated, man, they get into the drugs, smoking dope, and doing this and doing that. Then when they ain't got the money to pay for the drugs, they get into, man, they begin to be distorted. Yep. And then, but the extortion is to sell their bodies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now they doing some stuff, man, that a normal man ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Like that one scene where grandma was at in Delta.
Then seeing young dudes, man, driving this, getting stupid so low, man, into having sex with other men, man, just to really support that habit, man. That was so sickening to me, man. Right. And to this day, man, even since I've been out, God has blessed me to share that with other young men. I said, man, you got a drug habit out on the streets. I said, but if you ever go to prison, the boys gonna tax you. Yeah. Because you can't leave them drugs alone when you hit that prison, man, and you can't pay it, you in a world of trouble, boy.
You gotta give it up.
You in a world of trouble. You think it's a game. It's not a game.
It ain't. That was my first DR I ever wrote as an officer. I caught 2 men having sex. And I was just like, what? I couldn't believe it. I was just like, bro, like this real life. Like, and I'm talking, he like the hand the man up. I'm like, you serious?
Yeah.
Man, both of y'all going to the box. I promise you. I promise. That was get my shine on moment right there. I'm finna lock both of y'all up. For sure. I've been waiting to lock somebody up. I ain't got to put these cuffs on nobody, so I got out the academy. Turn around and cuff up. Then I was like, we got to cuff up, man. Nah. 18, respond. I ain't touching you, boy. You got to go be decontaminated.
Yeah.
I should have had a CDC mask back then.
Oh, man.
But yeah, man, I think that's a reality.
Yeah,
that's a reality, man.
yeah.
And people ain't. A lot of people come home and they glorify they prison state. Oh man, I did this. I was getting money in prison.
Yeah, that ain't always the case.
That ain't always the case.
Yeah.
It's a price to come with everything. I always tell people you got to pay a price for everything out here.
Yeah.
So I say they ain't gonna tell you the lows of prison.
No.
They telling you when they were balling in prison.
Right.
And I said your mind's so small that you think you balling.
Right.
I said that's how I know you truly ain't evolved on the brain because you thinking that you balling by kill, bro. Freedom is priceless.
Yeah.
Freedom is a gift that, boy, it override a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I say, that's one thing I don't want to play with is my freedom.
Yeah.
I say, boy, because you can't exchange that for nothing. Ain't enough money in the world that you got back there in that cell. What you could do with it? You back here. Right. You can't even enjoy it. You can't even go outside and get you nothing with this money.
Right.
Everything you do with this money got to be illegal.
And you know something, and Tallahassee getting these false reports of this and that, about the black and white children are getting put on and raped and stuff, but they never look at the fact that they put themselves in them positions. Because you have to put yourself in a position, man. Predators don't even go at them like that. You know, it's because of you got these rich kids or children going into prison and they got these habits, man, that they trying to support. So they put themselves in a position, man, that they get put out on, and now they got to do this, and now they call it home, man, well, they raping me and doing this. They ain't telling them that they don't put themselves in their position to get raped and all that other crazy mess, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that'd be crazy.
That rape it's for real.
It's real, it's real, man.
I done walked up, boy, I was in the Alpha dorm at Taylor. Walked back there, and I seen three, four of them coming from back there. And one dude, he come trickling out late. I say, I'm almost off of work, man. Y'all, man, I done been on this overtime too, man. I'm tired. Look, bro, if you ain't complaining about it, you must like it.
Yeah.
And then come back, probably about 3 weeks later, they come tell me, hey, Fitz, he had to give it up. He owed the game. Then I was just like, oh, y'all gang members and y'all did it to the man? I was like, oh, man. I was like, bro, y'all some different characters, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all some different characters, man. Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely different enough, man. So, let's talk about, some funny moments, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I believe that your bid went all bad.
No.
Because you was a dude that was high-spirited enough. So, what was your favorite canteen item?
Oh, man. At the time, man, it was honey buns, man. I like the honey buns. Yeah, I like honey buns. I like fish steaks, man. But that was both my favorite like that, man. And eating goulashes and stuff like that, man. That was those sports days, man, on Friday, Saturdays and stuff like, man, sports, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, you up.
Yes.
You don't want to go to work that day.
Yes,
that boy used to be so bad you got to go to work. That boy be at the winter sauce. What the score is? I don't know, man. Give me some coffee cakes, though. Yeah, man. Yeah. So, that was your favorite canteen item. Did you truly enjoy rec? I ain't never seen you work out like that. You was a little old head at the time.
I used to go work out in the morning, stuff like that. Early in the morning, but in the afternoon, man, on weekend, where we try to be at. Front of the TV, watching sports, man.
Y'all hated to have a count on them days.
Yeah, sure, yes we did, man. But like going out during the week and stuff, we would go work out. I just love when they used to have events on the yard. I used to go do that, watch that and stuff like that. But I used to stay on the yard, man. I used to love the yard, but mostly, man, I just love working too. But on weekend,
ain't nothing.
Yeah, ain't nothing, man.
Trying to watch them garbage Cowboys.
Yeah. I just love watching the Cowboys.
And your Buckeyes won a championship
don't get it straight,
this year.
bro, about this turn.
Your Buckeyes got you a championship this year, so I know you were happy about that.
Sir.
I say, that's soccer. He just having fun, but I love when them Cowboys lose. You the first person, you and my mom. I say, thank you, God. My mama be fasting. I said, you think you the only one serve a good God, don't you? The Cowboys ain't winning because you ain't here fasting. Nah, it ain't happening. So, man, you know what I'm saying? You on the yard, you got your favorite canteen item. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ask you something along the lines of this. I believe that we all have a moment where we weak. As a man that we supposed to cry. And I think that we are taught not to cry. So you doing 30 years, how many times did you cry while you was in prison?
Man, my pillow was wet, man. My pillow was wet, man. the time, man, will break you down, man. The hardest man in prison, man. If he say he didn't cry, man, at night, man, when them doors closed, man, he lying. He lying, man.
I tell him that.
When them doors closed, man, you gonna cry. You gonna weep.
It's you and you when that door closed. You versus you. You and your thoughts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you right now, even as a free man, I cry.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need to. I'm at the age now, but man, I ain't trying to hold all these emotions in.
Right.
It's tough. Yeah, it's hard, and I need to cry and get it out. Now I can move forward. And a lot of times we don't move forward. We let that build up, and then we'll walk and ticking time bomb. And then it'll give a moment you gonna blow.
Right.
And you might not, you know what I'm saying, even mean for it to go that far, but you carrying stuff from years of hurt. And as a man, you don't get it out. So I believe like when a man get behind that gate, he gonna have that moment. And a lot of dudes try to portray, I'm too tough, I ain't gonna cry. You gonna cry.
Yeah.
But that's why I asked you know how many times did you cry?
Yeah.
What was the one Bible verse that you read repeatedly while you was incarcerated?
I looked Psalms 121, man. I looked to the hills for where comes my help, man. You know what I'm saying? I liked that verse so much because I didn't have nothing to look at when I was out there on the streets. You know, man, I really didn't have a idol, or none of that. It was just the streets, you know what I'm saying? So when I got saved, man, and I looked up to heaven, man, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
You know, cause I literally looked up to heaven, man, and cried out to God, man, for deliverance. Not so much to get out of prison, but to get the prison out of me.
Inner peace.
Yeah, inner peace, man. Cause a man that's running the streets, man, or doing time, man, if he don't have that inner peace, man, he's headed for destruction, man.
Right.
And he's gonna take anybody he can with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why you have so much fighting and people killing and, you know, certain killings in certain spots, man, because men just don't have that peace.
Right.
You know.
So, okay, you know, you got your Bible, you got it going. Because I know you're a praying man, because you kept that Bible.
Yeah.
I used to come down doing counting, you sit up there just read. And I come in and say something crazy to you just go to laugh. So, yeah, man, you doing your time. And I think that, you know, you got to find God somehow, some way.
Yeah.
You got to. How old, you did 26 years. At what point in your bid did you give your life to Christ?
At the beginning, at the county.
You came in ready.
Yeah, I was 5. You know what I'm saying? Cause when I came in the county, man, it's like, man, I'm looking around, man. I'm looking at the intake, and I'm this man, and I stayed in intake, man, almost 2 days because I ain't really want to go to the pods, man. And I finally went to the pod. When I went to the pod, I was like so sick.
Yeah.
You know, and I got on the phone, man, and I called Miss Peggy, man, my mom. You know, and you know her words said to me, the only words she had to say to me, man, was, man, you need to find God.
Right.
You know, we took you to church and stuff, but you need to find God. And for some reason, that clicked.
Right.
It clicked. I'm talking about it inside here.
You felt that in your soul.
Yeah, so...
you took God with you your whole bed, man,
yeah,
and that's different. Yeah. You know, most people, they get in and they got to go through all these trials and tribulations on the inside. You was like, nah, I'm taking God right now. I'm going to need him for these 30. And that's, you know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you. You realize quick.
Yeah.
But, you know, everybody's journey is different.
Right.
You know, so,
right.
Okay, at what point did you realize, like, okay, I am going home? I think that you've seen a lot. You've seen dudes die. I'm quite sure you formed a brotherhood with a lot of dudes. Like, prime example, Chop. Big Chop at Zephyr Hill. That y'all were pretty cool cats with each other.
Yeah.
And you know, he ain't never coming home. And you going home. So did you ever feel on the inside like, dang, I lost a brother while you was in there?
Nah. Man, Chop, even distance don't really separate a person. You know what I'm saying? So I always be close to my brothers and behind the fence, man. So when I try to stay in contact with them and stuff like that, me and Chop came from the county together.
Yeah, so y'all been piping out a long time.
You know what I'm saying? We just had 2 different roads. You know what I'm saying? Hey. We just had 2 different roads.
Hey, he wasn't a bad dude,
no,
man.
He wasn't a bad dude. I
mess with Chop, man. He funny. He funny.
Yeah.
But Chop sure got his women on that compound. And they ain't women. Chop had 4 of them in the canteen line shopping for him. I said, y'all buying something for Chop? Yes, Sarge. Oh, Lord, man. Come on, Chop. He just laughing. And then he go see his woman woman on the weekend. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You meet some good people, man. You do.
Yeah, you meet some
I
good
know for an
brothers.
officer, man, I met so many good dudes, man. Like Columbus Edwards, Charlie Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy, man. I'm the only officer could calm him down.
Yeah.
Everybody else scared of him. I'm like, man, y'all scared of old man Columbus. Columbus told
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Ed told me, say, one of his bunkies came in there and told, Sarge, you got to get him out of here, Sarge. You crazy. I can't turn the light on to read my book. Ed come tell me, Sarge, it's a day room 10 steps away from my room. He gonna go in there and turn that light on and read in there like everybody else do. He don't come in here and turn no light on.
Right.
So then he say, Sarge, you got to get out of here or something gonna happen. I say, Ed, that man say something gonna happen if you don't get out that room. Ed look at me and say, Sarge, a zebra could turn 150 years old. He still got black and white stripes on him. If he touch me, I'm gonna whoop his ass no matter how old I am. And you know Ed was dead serious too.
Yeah,
He was a good dude, man. That's one dude, know, when I left, bro, I looked back and I was like, man, I left a lot of dudes that's inmates, man.
Right.
And like Freeman, cut hair.
Oh, yeah.
I had a good relationship with Freeman. That's one dude I can go there and politic about God.
Yeah.
And it was always a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
I ain't see this man charges. I honestly didn't care.
Right.
He was a good man of God.
Yeah.
And you could come in there and just talk to him, the barber. You know what I'm saying? I go in there and get a haircut and talk to him. And I only had one moment was when I was in fear of an inmate. But other than that, I never had too much fear because I presented myself as a respectable guy, and I got that back. So when I left, I was just like, dang, man, I'm leaving behind some good dudes, man. And I was like, dang, I want to just be able to come visit them. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like we had that connection. Especially
right.
like in Charlie Dorm, all them guys over there, ain't nothing like when you got moved to Charlie though. We gotta talk about that now.
Yeah.
So why did you feel, because me and Hart laugh about this all the time, you got moved to Charlie, we getting off of work one morning, you at the bike door, Sarge, y'all get me out of here. Get me out of here. You say, Sarge, I'm scared. We say, what's wrong with you, JD? It's too cold in here. Why did you feel that way? Was it because you had to deal most of your time in the hot dorms or what?
Well, Sarge, I'm so used to being in the trenches, man.
Right.
So, what I mean by the trenches, I've been 20-something years in a dorm without air conditioning.
Right.
You know, you put your little bags up in there.
Yeah, you know how to survive.
Yeah.
It don't even bother you no more.
Yeah, so, to move in an environment, man, that's just, it's air, clean.
It showed up clean over there.
I'm talking about this, it's just, but it's more politics than anything over there.
Yeah.
You know, so and I ain't like the politics.
Oh boy, they gonna tell on you over
know,
there.
yeah, good. And I wasn't doing that.
You weren't doing that, but if they don't like you, they all getting together.
Yeah, so I didn't like the politics over there. You know, and plus it was cold. We had to walk around with a sweatshirt all the doggone time.
It was freezing in Charlie.
So I definitely ain't like that. So to move me out of an environment that you know, with no air conditioning, and boom, me went in the air conditioning, like, man, what the heck is this? You know, nah, I couldn't.
That boy biking Delta.
Yeah, that's good.
Me and Hart laughed so hard about that because you were dead serious.
Yes, boy.
He
Yes,
couldn't take it.
I said, man, I remember telling y'all, man, hey, man, they trying to kill me.
All because it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It was
He
cold
rather go do his in the hot dorm.
Yeah, it's good, boy.
Yeah, man.
But it was the trenches.
Yeah.
You know, and there's something, man. Then you had all the good guys was in Charlie dorm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What's the purpose of being there? Everybody in one spot.
Right.
You got people out there, man. You got people in Delta, Echo, A dorm, B dorm. Man, all the boys need help, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All
the light in here.
All the light in here. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm
even
saying?
look at when you call for church. All the church goers come from Charlie.
Everybody coming out of Charlie
Everybody
dorm.
coming out of Charlie dorm.
Yeah, I ain't.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I met you on the back end of your bed, and I kind of left when you had a year left. What was your mindset with that year left? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I left, I would call him Sergeant Jones, and I say, man, when JD get released?
Yeah.
I was like, man, I gotta find my boy. So it was just like a blessing to connect with you again. What was your mindset like, though? You know, you got a year left. You done did 25 years.
Right.
What are you thinking?
Man, I'm thinking, man, I got to tighten down, man. I got to really, my prayer life became stronger.
Yeah.
Because I needed some direction, man. I needed guidance, man. I needed to make the right choices.
Right.
You know, when I'm in prison for making bad choices, and those choices got to change. You know, so I didn't want to make a wrong choice of, man, just getting out and not having a foundation, man, not having no settledness when I got out. So I prayed and I prayed, man, and God gave me. He answered me by giving me directions, you know.
Right.
So I was like, man, I don't want to go back home. I don't want to come back to Tampa. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me, man, my prayer came when I went to my classification office, man. She was like, well, you don't got some place to go? She said, well, I said, no. She said, well, you got family and stuff in Tampa. You don't want to? I said, no, man, I don't want to go back to Tampa. Well, it's this house over here in Dade City, name. So I was like, wow. And I was like, let me get this, right? You know what I'm saying? So I jumped on that.
But you kind of always stayed to that, because I used to always mess with you, like, man, what you doing when you get out? You know, I used to always come at you, man. Girls gonna be out there, JD, they waiting on you.
yeah. I still, you know, and then that still attitude still hurt. You know what I'm saying? My focus is, man, and like, for that year, man, when I got out, man, I knew I had to stay focused.
Right. Did it get harder?
No, it actually got easier.
Yeah.
You know, but the biggest challenge God was preparing me for when I got on the other side of the gate. Mm-hmm. And God has really been working with me since I got on the other side of the gate. So I've really been focused, you know. And I was telling a friend the other night, man. Matter of fact, 2 nights ago when I was telling him, I said, listen, man, I ain't in no relationship. I'm trying to get in a relationship or nothing like this. I said, man, I'm trying to bump the ground right now. Right. You know, I say, what man would want to be with a woman that don't have no foundation? You know what I'm saying? Unless you just want anything.
You just a mature man.
Mature man. That's what God was preparing me for, you know.
Right.
I met challenges. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be challenges, but that's the distraction sent to the, know what I'm saying, to throw you off your game.
Right. So it's just those challenges been met with
You a strong man, though. You strong. You strong. So, you know some of the conversations we done had. You just be like, Sarge, boy, you wild, boy. I'm like, hey, man, look, Sarge gonna do it. I don't care. But you know, let's get to that final day in prison. 26 years behind you. What was that wake up like?
Oh man, I couldn't sleep. The day before I went home, man, I'm talking about, man, I'm twisting and turning. Oh man, I'm at the door. You know what I mean?
The sun couldn't ride faster though.
Like, golly, man. I mean, I had butterflies, man. I just a whole while, man. All right, God, I'm finna walk out these gates, man. You know, I need you, man. The whole while I'm walking, pacing the compound, I'm just, man, just talking about, you ready to go, huh? I said, yeah, man, I'm ready to face it. You know, so when I got up front, little lady sergeant, I can't forget her name, man. She was there. She said, boy, you ready, huh? I said, yeah. And I was like, man.
That life behind you.
Yeah, goodness.
You survive.
Yeah.
Inside them gates, I always tell people, man, it's a blessing to make it out of them gates. Yeah. Because it's so much can go wrong in there. You can fall, and it ain't even that you into the gangs. Man, you can get sick.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of the worst places in the world. I watched COVID kill so many people in there. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Then, you know, at Zephyr Hills, they got a dorm that's really for people that's going to transition soon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You seen I watched dudes go from Alpha Dorm in good health over to J Dorm. And all of a sudden they just decline. And you be like, no, it's the sad reality. Like the movie Life, how you seen all the inmates go to passing away. Right. I'm like, this is real life. Like these boys doing life sentences and they just slowly, fading away. Yeah. So, you had an EOS date and man, you made it outside the gates, man. And it's truly a blessing. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? You stayed, the biggest thing I like about you, bro, you stayed strong to your faith. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You didn't waver. Right. And I'm quite sure it was plenty of things that came your way in there. Yeah. Like prime example, you a man and they stuck a fun guy in your cell. Yeah. And I don't see that with you. Yeah. And you told me one day, you say, Sarge, I'm trying, boy, he lucky I done gave my life to Christ. I was busted in his mind. Like, yeah. But yeah, man, I done seen, even up under the circumstances of that's not, for you, but God was in the midst. Yeah. I done seen you even have that type of person reading that Bible in the morning. Yeah. Hey man, get up, clean up, do what you need to do. Yeah. I done seen you be, somewhat of a mentor to a couple of those guys that had to come in that room with you. So you know what I'm saying? You free now. So what does the future look like for you right now?
Well, I'm letting God lead me, man. So right now, man, just work, man, church, fellowship with my brother Tom over here and stuff like that. It's really, basically this it, man. Try to get settled. God settled me, man, with some flow, stuff like that. But right now I just focus on him and let him lead me, man. Without him, man, it really you don't have no directions. So
Right.
He blessed me with a job, so a roof over my head, stuff like that. People really don't accept that, man. They get out the chain game, man, and just run full steam, drink alcohols, drinking, hanging out, da.
Repeating that cycle.
Yeah.
Come and bite.
Yeah, that's basically that's the start of everything. Yeah. And I didn't start, and I'm not going to start like that, and I'm not going to end like that, man, by the grace of God. So, like I said, I'm going to let him lead me, man. I'm going to let him lead me every step of the way. So, and he's been faithful. Yeah. He's been faithful, so, man, and I'm going to continue to let him be faithful. I don't want to make no plans, but every direction and every step that he's been taking, man, has been the right way.
Good, man.
You know what I'm saying? Good. So,
hey, man, you somebody going to see this, and you going to touch home with your message to them. So, what would you give that 28-year-old man that went and did 26 years? What would the advice be to that guy right now?
My advice to him right now, man, is to give his life to the Lord early. Seek his direction and I'm talking about don't play with it. Yeah. You're going to have your bumps and bruises, man. But really, man, I'm talking to the man in the mirror. So at 26 years old, man, I ought to give your life to the Lord, man. Really seek it, man. Sit down in that word. Because, man, all of them have mamas and grandmamas and granddads telling them about the word, but we shun it, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But really pay attention, man, to the advice they're giving you, man. And most of all, man, set yourself around positive people, man. People that want to grow and want things in life, man. Facts. I ain't talking about the street corners, man. Because you hanging out on the street corners, you don't want nothing in life. Because you just throwing bricks at the chain game, man. Eventually it's gonna catch up.
It's gonna welcome you in there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. They gonna open you. They gonna welcome you with open arms. Come on. I always tell people. I used to tell my little family members that's out there running the streets getting in trouble. One thing about Department of Corrections, ain't no shortage on bunks. I said we had COVID. And it still wasn't a shortage on bunks. Right. They got somewhere for you to lay your head at. Believe that. Right. So don't ever think that, it's too crowded in there. No. Right. We'll move some stuff around. They'll cut somebody loose to bring you on in here.
You better so, believe it.
Understand that, man. And as long as people, like you said, you can give your life to Christ, man, that'll change you, man. And I'm walking my own personal journey right now. Right. I ain't the perfect one, but God done sat me down. Yeah, and, you know what I'm saying? You got to align yourself with what God wants for you. And a lot of things we be chasing ain't what God really wants for us. Right. So you know what I'm saying? You got to stop chasing the desires of the world. Right. And chase what God, you know what I'm saying, done placed for you. Like what's for you is for you. Right. And a lot of times you don't get what's for you because you chasing everything that ain't. Right. So you on the shit end of it. Right. Instead of on the receiving end. Right. So you know, so that's just me right now in my little world. I don't put that life behind me, man. But I ain't on the compound being Mick Jagger no more. Right. I'm just chilling, man. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Inside the gates. No problem, man. We was on the bottom bunk with old JD in here, man.
Hanging out.
Hanging out. 26 years and a lot of tears. Because a lot of people like to say 20 years, no tears. Oh, that's a lot.
Tears.
Tears, man.
My pillow was wet, but.
But man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem, man.
Hey, man, best of luck to you in your future. I ain't nothing but a call away. You got my number now. So
yes.
It's Inside the Gates, the podcast, man. And appreciate y'all for tuning in.